cross my heart. These cookies are specially baked for pregnant ladies who've been traumatized by snakes. It was Polish lady's recipe, Mrs. whatever, I can't pronounce her name.
I'm fine. We won, didn't we?
Yeah. You were Madam Cool all through it.
Well, I did drop my gun, but I don't think the snake knew. I think I terrified the poor little thing, actually.
Well, if I was on the floor and you dropped your gun, you'd terrify me too.
Point is, you're making much too much fuss about this.
No, the point is, I'll decide what's much too much fuss. I know from experience you have a very good habit of faking it just to please me.
What else?
Well, there was a threat in your life, whether it failed or not. Probably more diabolical, and let's hope not successful.
Well, we're ready for them.
My goodness, what did I do to deserve such a marvelous woman?
You're right, I am.
What? Marvelous? That's
Tell me to go
Robert.
away.
Hello, Duke.
What the hell are you doing here? Not here. I don't want you inside my house.
Don't let your anger toward me blind you. We have important family business. Anna, how are you?
Great. And isn't it a little chilly out there? Why don't you come in?
I'm sorry to disturb you at home. But I had to see you about the meeting last night.
There was no meeting last night.
I know you and Anna have no secrets from each other when it comes to family affairs. But we need to talk about why the bosses didn't show up.
What a shame that is. I mean, you set up this meeting for the gangs and it just doesn't come through. Why, sit down and tell us about it.
It was on schedule before Robert Scorpio came to see me.
Robert Scorpio knew there was a meeting?
He didn't say. He did say he knew I was Victor Jerome's daughter, and that he thought I was here on mob business, and that he wouldn't tolerate that in his town. Oh, and Anna, he was very forceful. I can see why you were so attracted to him.
Yeah, he's good at his job, isn't he? What else did he say?
It's obvious he's wired into what we're doing. He knew about the summit.
How did he know?
All I know is the word went out over the grapevine and the bosses stayed away. I called some of them to warn them, and it wasn't necessary. They'd already gone home.
Do you think somebody informed the police there was going to be a meeting?
I don't know what else to think.
And you think somebody informed the bosses that the police had been informed?
It could be the same person, posing as a double agent, trying to cause trouble for you.
So this informer, who do you think he is?
He or she. I mean, you know, it could be me. Seriously, I have no idea. It would be like throwing darts in the dark to accuse someone now.
Well, I know. One person. Two people. But it certainly is not.
Well, of course. But you see why I had to see you in private with no eyes or ears in the walls. You do have this place checked regularly for bugs, I assume.
Yeah, I should get the pest control in more often, though.
Duke, you can't trust anyone. Except for Anna, of course.
I've told you before, and your father, Anna's out of the business forever.
Forever is a very long time. But Anna, you do look very radiant. No one would ever expect you were pregnant.
But it's not a disease. One's supposed to look like this. I agree with what Duke said. You know, we were thrilled when your father offered us that position, but since the baby, I'm out. It's all his now.
We will be able to work together, won't we?
Yes, of course. Why don't you reschedule the meeting and let me know the time and place as soon as it's been confirmed?
I know what to do. With Scorpio breathing down my neck, I must get back to New York.
Yeah, I understand. Telephones still work from there, don't they?
Yes, and I'm going to see my father before I leave.
Give him my regards, please.
Well, I will. He'll be very pleased to hear from you. And Anna, please continue to look well. Having babies obviously agrees with you.
Oh, obviously, yeah. Oh, we'll look after ourselves.
Of course you will, with Duke looking after you. I'll see myself out. Goodbye.
I could strangle her. I want to strangle her. I mean, she's mad.
I don't know. She's bad, so I don't know what to think about her.
What's she up to? I mean, do you think there is another informer?
I don't know. I wouldn't believe her if she told me her eyes were blue.
She's going to do something.
Well, I don't know what it is. I don't know whether she can call another meeting. I don't know whether she ever did. I don't know what she's up to.
It's not a case of looking for a needle. We can't even find a haystack.
Listen, if anything had been found by my men out there, it would be in that report.
Scorpio.
Robert, slavery. Any update on the snake?
Sorry. It seems that I failed to impress the good doctor regarding the urgency of this situation. He's gone hiking for the day.
Well, isn't there anybody else that you can ask?
He's it. He said he's going to call me back this evening. Either that or I'm going to send some whaling squad cars into his driveway at 2 in the morning.
Well, at the same time, I suggest you get another whaling squad car to escort Olivia St. John right out of town.
I'm sure she's long gone by now, after the conversation we had last night.
Well, I hate to disappoint you, but the lady left here not half an hour ago.
What the hell did she want?
She seemed quite startled to see that Anna was walking around safely. She mentioned that you'd been rather firm with her.
Did she say what she plans to do about that?
Well, she said she was leaving tonight, but she's going to visit with her father first, though.
I'll get a couple of plainclothes men to make sure that she evacuates town as agreed. Thank you for the tip, though.
You gonna be there for a little while?
Yeah, until the doctor calls.
Good. I've decided that there's something I want to tell you. It's very important. I want to tell you in person.
Well, this is animal, vegetable, or mineral?
You'll find out when I get there. Only about half an hour. I'll be here. Okay.
Well?
Well, what?
Well, are you going to tell me, or do I have to guess?
You don't have to guess. I'll tell you. I'm sick to death of Olivia's dangerous threats. I'm sick and tired of her father and all his brainless thugs. They can all go to hell as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and that is the idea. At least to jail, anyway.
Well, that's up to Robert. But you can do it without me. And I've got to be realistic about this. For as long as you and I are involved with the mob, there's going to be no safety for you, for me, for Robin, or for our baby. So now we are out, period, okay?
Out of the mob?
Out of the mob and also out of the country as quickly as we can get packed. We're getting as far away from here as possible.
We've been over this all before. It's not that simple.
And it's as simple as we turn our back on the mob in this country for a while, that's all.
For how long?
Until Victor and Olivia are no longer a threat.
Oh, come on, that could be years.
So?
Well, you were just making arrangements for mob meetings, weren't you?
Well, let Olivia set up as many meetings as she likes. By the time they come down, you and I will be off somewhere warm and remote.
Oh, they've got passports, maps, and money. They can follow us anywhere.
Why would they want to follow us?
Because they're vindictive.
Well, I happen to think it's the better part of valor than if we just leave them all behind and don't even fight.
But what about Olivia? Did you think that setting up this meeting was a phony, or so she could plant the snake? What do you think? She's fantasizing the whole thing?
I don't care what goes on this side of mine. I don't know. I don't even care what Robert thinks, quite frankly. If he can call me a card if he likes because I don't go out fighting, I don't care.
Nobody would think that of you. Come on.
Listen, Anna, I only get involved with the mob again because of some stupid accident. Well, I'm going to end it right now, period. I get down to see Robert. He's waiting for me.
Well, I'll come with you.
No, you stay here.
Good, I'm coming with you.
You had enough for one day. Stay here. I'll go on my own.
Oh, I think I can handle the shock of driving downtown. Besides, it's my life you're talking about. I'm coming with you.
It turns out the doctor wasn't messing us around after all. Rather, he wanted a couple of additional opinions as to the make and model of our demise snake.
Was it poisonous?
Very. Could have been fatal.
So you find these in houses often, I suppose?
As a matter of fact, you don't.
And how the hell did I get there?
Through the open window?
Oh, well, you always sleep with the window open.
No screens? Why?
Well, most of the bugs are gone at this time of the year. We're having storm windows installed, so we had the screens removed.
Yes, we know. We found their footprints all over the place.
Wait, maybe it was one of them.
No. We had them all checked out. They're clean.
The, herpetologist, which is a big word for a snake expert, seems to think the snake could have been in the house for a few weeks.
No.
Well, I don't buy that theory, not for 1 minute. I guarantee you Olivia St. John was behind it. She had it planted there.
Look, we might all think so. On the other hand, we might all be paranoid. The point is, if we go to court, the judge is going to ask us to prove it. It's going to be a little embarrassing if we can't.
Well, that's your department, isn't it?
Why are you so sure it's her? I mean, have there been any more threats?
Well, this is what the whole fake summit meeting was set up for, just to get me out of the way so that she could send somebody in to attack Anne at the house.
You're worth all that?
Well, I think so.
Yeah, but you've never had very good judgment where men are concerned.
True.
I hardly think this is the time and the place for personal jibes. Quite frankly, I don't care whether it was Olivia, whether it was the janitor who planted the snake. The whole bloody mess is going to end right now.
All by yourself? How you do that?
Well, until you do your job the way you're supposed to have this woman locked up where she belongs, I'm taking Anne and Robin and we're going away.
Where you going?
I'm not too sure. Scotland. Hell, maybe Australia. I'm not too fussy. Somewhere where Robin can go to school. I tell you, when I make up my mind, neither you nor anybody else is going to stop me.
Good idea. Can I come too?
Is that all you're going to say? You want to come with us?
Well, maybe you'd like an argument. Hey, look, stick around. If you're going to go, though, write me a card.
But it's not my idea, Robert. It's Duke that wants to go.
Listen, darling, it seems to me like you've been outnumbered, so why don't we just go home, pack up and...
There is nowhere safe until the mob is broken. I can't believe the two of you. Haven't you got all this evidence against them?
Look, I think we're all being sidetracked by this Jerome broad. Now, I think that between myself, Guy, and the FBI, we can bring enough resources to bear.
You just said you had no evidence against her.
None on the threats to you. But on mob affairs, that's a whole different line of business. Look, for once I agree with him. I'm more concerned about you and Robin than I am about using you as a piece of live bait to bring in some dingbat.
Well, I don't know about you, but I personally could not live with myself if we stayed in town simply to gather evidence. If something happened to you, the child, or to Robin.
I'm not letting these people run my life. I mean, this isn't a vacation we're talking about. You want to run away.
You call it what you like, Anna. Call it running away. If running away is what it takes, then that's what I'll do. I'll run away.
Olivia's still going to be on the loose. I mean, what if she never goes to jail? When do we come home?
Got a point.
Mob does have a long memory, that's for sure.
All right, what do you suggest?
Well, we can't prove anything from Scotland, for a start. And if we can't get her on murder or whatever it is that she thinks she was doing, what about conspiracy?
With whom?
I don't know. I mean, she must be working with someone. She must have had somebody help her kidnap Robin, and then there were the birds and the snake. There must be an accomplice. Maybe there's a couple of them.
Do you know how hard it is to prove conspiracy?
That's why we need Duke and the mob.
Oh, come on. We don't even know if I'm still trusted enough to be valuable.
You are. Especially now with Victor ill.
Well, again, if Olivia does what I told her to do.
Continuing in my meddlesome ways, I asks, what did you ask Olivia to do?
Well, I did it purely as a smokescreen. I asked her to reschedule the meeting that didn't happen last night and let me know the time and the place and the names, etc.
She offer any explanation as to what happened to meeting number one?
Well, she assumed that the bosses said there was a police informer, since you knew about the meeting. Freaked the bosses out and they stayed away.
And they think you're the informer. That's why you don't feel they trust you anymore.
Exactly. I mean, if they do reschedule a meeting, I may not even hear about it. They may send me to Chicago and they may all get together and meet in Hoboken.
They'll meet you in Hoboken and then boot you off the pier.
But this is beside the point. I mean, all this is true. This could happen. But Olivia is after the authority that her father gave to Duke and myself. And this is a perfect time for her to make a move on Victor.
Oh, come on, to hell with Victor, to hell with Olivia. All I want to do is to take my family and get them safely out of town.
But they will send a hitman after us.
Not if I'm no longer valuable to them, they won't.
Kiddies, please, all right? Now, any day that starts off with a dead snake on the desk is bound to be a bummer, and this one's no exception. Now, as it turns out, Guy and I are working on a new angle. Aren't we, Guy?
Absolutely. As soon as you tell me what it is.
There you go.
We gave you an idea. You want to tell us what it is?
I am not obliged to do that just at the moment, but I'll tell you if it works out.
Okay. Yeah, I think you too. Oh, you have got to go back to work. Because your club is going to go to the dogs, and we're going to weigh 1,000 pounds.
Well, too bad. I've already told Daisy I won't be there, and anyway, you'll walk off the weight in Scotland, which reminds me I must call the travel agency.
No. Well, if you do, just book one passage, because I'm not going with you.
Are you trying to drive me crazy or what?
I feel safer here in Port Charles with the police here.
Oh, and Robert, yeah?
Why don't you give him a chance? He might have something on Olivia this time.
All right, till the end of the week, and then we fly out of here, okay? You understand? And what does Robert know about Olivia that we don't know anyway?
Thank you. Well, I feel good, especially now that all the secrets are out in the open. Keeping the truth from your lover puts dents on your brain.
Oh, honey, I know, and I've got dents all over my brains. I look like the crater of the moon. Oh, freak of the devil, look at you. You know you're too good for my sister. My sister's too good for you, and we're all too good for each other. What's wrong with you?
It's all right. I'm practicing to be a better
Well,
person.
you ought to practice harder, honey. You need more help. Come on. I'm just kidding. I still love you. You're in such a mood today.
Get out of here,
Goodbye.
will you? Go.
Honey, today my trousseau, tomorrow my gown.
Go
Oh, no, I
away.
can't stand another day like today.
Oh, I have to go to bed early.
Oh, don't do it on my account.
So, how was your day, and how's Robin?
Well, the day wasn't too good. My daughter's a delight. She's at home now with her bodyguard and one of her favourite school chums.
What about the snake?
No proof of anything. However, I just know it's a St. John job.
What can you do without proof?
Legally, nothing. Truthfully? Well, I'm going to find a way to pin Julian's death on that blonde bimbo.
I'm sorry. I know you just want the best for me and Robin and the baby.
There's so much to look forward to. I just don't want to risk it, that's all.
Well, we won't risk it. We'll have it. Why don't you give Robert a chance? I mean, he's spoken to Olivia. Perhaps that'll be enough to frighten her.
Fat chance. Tell you one thing, though. Until he locks her up where she belongs, I'm not going to leave your side. If she comes anywhere near you, I'm going to strangle her myself, I promise you.